Ant-Man is back for his second film, except this time it isn't a solo film because he's joined by Hope Van Dyne. After the amazing thrill ride of Avengers Infinity War, it's time to take a bit of a breather with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hey guys, welcome back to The Road to Black Widow. We are nearly at the end.
Guys, today I am joined by a very special guest, and that is Oliver from the channel AReasonableCritic. Definitely go and check out his channel if you haven't, and please subscribe because his content is very good.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for having me on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I'm very grateful to be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is a pretty underrated film. I mean, it doesn't do anything excellent, but the comedy, oh my God, the comedy. Let's get into the positives.
It's just fun, coming off Avengers Infinity War, we just needed this little palate cleanser, something that was really fun to just go and enjoy.
Like I said, the comedy is excellent. I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's a ton of really great situational comedy that works really, really well, and I think that all of the characters come together to make a really comedic script. It feels kind of like an improv, but at the same time, you can tell that there were some scripted jokes, which I like because Thor Ragnarok was definitely an improv. Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely very calculated. This feels like a mixture, comedically at least. Like story-wise, character-wise, they have nothing to do with each other, but just comedically, that's what it felt like to me.
It definitely made me laugh, and Paul Rudd is just having so much fun in the role of Scott Lang and Ant-Man. It's just amazing to see.
I really, really like a ton of the visual humor. The Pez candy just, it comes out of nowhere and you don't expect it at all. It's an amazing scene.
I like how they told a sort of MacGuffin story, which is where there's one object where multiple parties are trying to attain that object. You have the building, the box, and you've got Scott and Hank, and then you've got Ghost and Lawrence Fishburne's character, and then you've got Sonny Birch and his henchmen, all trying to get this one object, which is pretty cool.
I gotta talk about the truth serum scene, right? I mean, that's an incredible scene. It is the most iconic Ant-Man scene from both of his films, and that is because Luis is like the best thing to ever happen to that franchise. Like, I really hope we get, if there was a third Ant-Man, I really hope we get a ton of scenes with him because every scene he's in is just, it's incredible. I actually really like the three main guys in this movie a lot more than I liked them in the first movie. I don't know if that's just sequelitis, which is the term I've invented for when you expect something to be better in a sequel and then it is. I just think that he's really funny. So off topic. Back to the truth serum scene. It's just a really, really fantastic example of all these actors being so funny. I cannot stress that enough. This movie is really, really funny.
I also think they balance the three villain aspects really well, much better than Spider-Man 3. So obviously you have Ghost, Sonny Birch, and you might not consider the FBI agent a villain, but he is an antagonist within the story because he's trying to catch Scott before Scott gets home, but they sort of have this friendly banter, and he's not really even an evil person, but he is an antagonist.
You got Ant-Man and you got the Wasp there. They're cool. And I like the Ghost Girl's powers. That was cool, I guess, but...
And then you just throw Ruiz into this story, and his storytelling, the method of how they do that, I don't know how they thought of that. That is just so funny. I laugh every time. One of my favorite parts of Civil War is the airport battle scene, and one of my favorite parts of the airport battle scene is Giant Man, and you get to see a lot more of Giant Man in this film, which I really liked. The final battle scene was a bit underwhelming. I know Ant-Man films are a bit smaller scale, pun not intended, but still it felt like with all the build-up, this just wasn't a great ending, and you saw a lot of the shots from this battle in the trailer.
Honestly, I really hated the Ghost Girl's performance as it was pretty unremarkable and pretty bland, honestly. Not gonna lie, this was like some Ronin level blandness. I mean, I don't understand why everyone praises her. Like, I guess her superpower was okay, but that performance was just terrible. I don't know. It just completely took me out of any scene she was in.
The return of Janet Van Dyne wasn't well done at all. I mean, it was a bit obvious, first of all. Pretty sure I saw a poster with Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne before the film came out.
This subplot with the guy, I don't even remember either of their names. I just remember Ghost Girl because her power was cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm really trying to remember things here because this is a very forgettable film outside of the jokes. Again, like this is such like a piled on story. Like there's so many subplots and things that the movie wants to focus on. Like you got Hope's mother, and then you got Hope, and you got Hank, and you got Scott being under house arrest. Like it's just too much. You want to focus on one thing and have some subplots that all have something to do with each other. I mean, otherwise it's just lazy writing, which that's how I would describe the story. Lazy writing.
Now, I remember with this film, it came out a month later in the UK than it did in America, which had me going a bit crazy, to be honest, and I couldn't control myself, and I looked at the post-credit scenes on YouTube. I know, I really shouldn't have, but it was a month, guys, a whole month, and I couldn't wait. And that kind of spoiled it for me because it's like, you're always excited to see what the post-credit scene is going to be, but going into it, I already knew it, so it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to see it in proper HD on a big screen. Yeah, and maybe that's my fault for looking at it because I couldn't control myself. Because the film released a month later, it led me to want to look online to find it. I trust Marvel and the amount that they actually show us in the trailers. I know what I said about the final battle, but I do trust Marvel for the most part with the trailers and how much they show us. But because it released a month earlier, I was so tempted and I looked at it.
The tone, it's pretty inconsistent, not gonna lie. I mean, most Marvel films are really good with their tone. They know when to add jokes and when to have action. But this movie, no, not at all. I think this is a problem with both of the films. I always saw Scott Lang as more of like a junky, washed up criminal, more than like a, awesome, punch you in the face bad guy criminal. I mean, he was just kind of lame in all of his jokes and deliveries, so I can't really empathize with any action scenes. Like, I don't care about these action scenes because I don't care about Scott.
Impacts on the MCU, we see Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm setting up where he's going to be in Endgame. Obviously, we see everyone else dust away, and the quantum realm is heavily used in Avengers Endgame. Still not quite sure how, if the van was on the roof of the building in the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, how did it get into a storage facility in Endgame? I'm not going to question that. Let's just assume someone took it down somehow without shrinking it with pin particles. There's an awesome line in Endgame where Hope says, "You got it, Cap," and that's a callback to this film where Scott says, "Oh, Cap needed me," and Hope says, "Cap? Tin America." Really funny, a great palate cleanser. It had a few issues here and there. I still find this to be a very good sequel and a very good movie in its own right. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video.
Thank you so much, After Credits, for having me in this video. I'm very happy to be a part of it. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
So thank you, Critic, for joining me today. Again, guys, if you haven't checked out his channel, please do so because it is definitely worth your time.
If you want to see more of my videos and more MCU reviews leading up to Black Widow, then don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. Until then, I'm Josh, this is After Credits, a place to review, rank, and react to movies with you. That video may have looked smooth, but I had hiccups the whole time and I probably recorded 10 minutes extra footage than what you actually... Damn.